प्राणी सर्वेक्षण विभाग अंडमान एवं निकोबार क्षेत्रीय केंद्र तथा सेंटर ऑन आइलैंड बायोडायवर्सिटी द्वारा द्वीपीय पारितंत्र की तटीय एवं समुद्री जैव विविधता विषय पर 3 दिवसीय प्रशिक्षण कार्यशाला का शुभारंभ आज एक गरिमामय समारोह में किया गया। यह कार्यशाला वन मंत्रालय, भारत सरकार के फॉरेस्ट्री ट्रेनिंग एंड कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग कार्यक्रम के तहत 27 से 29 नवंबर 2025 तक आयोजित की जा रही है। कार्यक्रम के उद्घाटन सत्र में डॉक्टर शिवा पेरुमल ने अतिथियों का स्वागत करते हुए मुख्य अतिथि ZSI के पूर्व महानिदेशक डॉक्टर कैलाश चंद्र का सम्मान किया।
Former Director Zoological Survey of India, whatever you are seeing, the development and our museum and our backside our repository building, all developed during his sir period only. Whenever we asked anything, he never say no to particularly ANRC ZSI. Sir, thank you, sir, for your support during your tenure. And this building also, that first coconut broken by him only for this foundation stone. And he was here during his initial period. And during entire career, he has supported like anything for particularly this regional centers. Sir, this 3-day training workshop we are conducting for class 1 officers of other services excluding forest service. In the year, this is the 3rd training program. First training program we conducted in the month of July for the other stakeholders, particularly for teachers and students. And this month, second week, we had training for class 2 group B officers of other services, and this mainly for group A officers of other services. This program we planned 2 days class room exercise and 1 day field trip to intertidal fauna at Barmanala, South Andaman, and also will be taking to Chidatapu Biological Park. Sir, we have planned 8 different talks by eminent speakers, including our former director also will be delivering 2 talks, and 1 talk will be delivering by director Central Island Agriculture Research Institute, and 1 talk will be Jojo IFS Department of Endowment Forest, and I'll be delivering couple of talk, including last training we have missed Antarctica, but this training I included exclusively 1 talk on Antarctica also. Participants, thank you for coming here, and also I extend my sincere thank all the head of the department of various department for nomination of trainees for this particularly this training program. Try to take knowledge, try to take information from this 3-day training course and spread across among your colleagues and friends and also your family members. So the conservation of biodiversity not only individually cannot do or preserve the biodiversity, so it is our responsibility to take care of our mother earth and conserve and preserve the biodiversity of our island ecosystem.
टैगोर कॉलेज के विद्यार्थियों ने एक मधुर गीत प्रस्तुत कर आयोजन को सौम्य और उत्साहपूर्ण वातावरण से भर दिया। मुख्य अतिथि डॉक्टर कैलाश चंद्रा ने अपने संबोधन में ZSI में अपने अनुभवों को साझा किया और द्वीपीय पारितंत्र की संवेदनशीलता तथा उसकी सुरक्षा के लिए वैज्ञानिक दृष्टिकोण और प्रशिक्षण कार्यक्रमों की आवश्यकता पर बल दिया।
Reason being that I have spent around more than 7 years in these islands from 1991 to 1998, and those who are the senior people here, and they have continued from that time, and they are islanders, they know very well how these islands were there, how beautiful these islands were. You can witness by entering to this hall, all around these photos of different ecosystems, whether it's a forest, mangrove, maybe coral reefs, and many other associates that how beautiful these islands are. In fact, that was the period which was almost beginning of my career. I joined ZSI 1989, another one regional center, that is the Himalaya. And just after serving 1.5 years, I was transferred to Pole Bear. I was shocked to know why I am being transferred to Pole Bear. But after joining here, I could say that was my golden period, because I could get the opportunity to work in these islands. These are no doubts biological gold mines for all of us, and not only for the administrator, academicians, and the local people, but for it's a prestige for the entire world. Such natural beauty, bounty of the nature, you will not witness anywhere else. I think many of you may be knowing about these islands at least 35 years before, what was the condition and how it has reached now. Population was just maybe 1.5 lakh of the entire Andaman Nicobar Islands, covering both the districts, started from North Andaman to the southernmost point, whom we call as Indra Point. It was there. But now it's more than 5 lakhs, if I'm not wrong. So how much transformation has taken place during last 3 decades? One way we are very happy, but at the same time, there is a lot of degradation of the environment. And today's workshop for our 20 senior officials who are attending this training workshop is a really knowledge sharing with all of them, that Dr. Sivapuraman has organized this workshop for 3 days. For 2 days, we will have different lectures and interaction. It's not only be one side, but anyone, if you are interested, you can have the interaction, why it is so. And one day field visit has also been organized. And the title of the workshop is the Coastal and Marine Biodiversity of the Island ecosystem. Very, very interesting topic on which you would be witnessing. I hope many of you will be aware about the biodiversity of these islands, but we may further pinpoint how they are important for all of us, and not only for us, but to our country, and then further to the Southeast Asia, Indo-Pacific region, and to the whole world. Because we are not living in isolation. These island ecosystems are very, very important. There are about 100,000 islands throughout the world. And we have in India around 1,000, and 572 islands are there in Andaman Nicobar Islands. Most of them are there in Andaman and remaining in Nicobar group of islands, of which hardly 20% are inhabited. But what about uninhabited islands? Whether they are still having the natural conditions, and what is the role where the administration is playing there, and why we could not go there and settle there. So there are many questions to the public, what should be the role, and in between lot of our developmental activities are also going, whether they are sustainable to us or not, and they are required. So all those questions will come to your mind. These islands cover about 8,249 square kilometer, and if you see the coastline, that is 1,962 kilometer out of around 8,000 kilometer which is there in throughout India. So how much area you are covering in these islands? despite the area which is just 0.25% of the area of the total geographical area of the country. You have only 0.25%. It's a minuscule of the whole country, but at the same time, what role you are playing, that is very, very pertinent and very important for all of us. People, when we call about the polar bear or Andaman in mainland, at least 95% of the people, they do not know. They do not know where the polar bear is there or Andamans are there. It was known as Kalapani only to them, and still they feel that Kalapani. And before coming to here, I was also called that why are you going to Kalapani? But the situation is totally different. These are all golden islands. We are not able to analyze it, but certainly it is. Who love the nature and who admire this and who want to be with the nature. Because nature is the only thing by which you get the happiness. You might be knowing this name of the country, Bhutan. Their GDP is the only happiness, and the whole world Bhutan is known to be the happiest country. Because their people, they consider that nature is the worldly important thing for them, and that is why that happiness criteria they have considered in gross or domestic product, that is GDP. How these coastal and marine ecosystems are important. You know that we are living in universe, जिसको हम ब्रह्मांड भी बोलते हैं, and this universe is infinite, and earth is even not a drop of the ocean if you compare to the entire universe. And within earth, that sea or the coastal region which you see it all around us are 572 islands, islets, and some of them may be outcrops which emerge at the time of when the tide grows or tide go down. Tide time only you see some of those islets. So the entire sea is more than 90% of the volume of the whole earth, and you have more than 70% of the area which is covered in the earth mass. So only 1/3 area you have land mass, and 2/3 area is covered by the oceans in that earth. And these islands, you know that they, if you compare anywhere in mainland where many tribal communities are there, there we have 6 tribal communities, starting from the Great Andamanis, then Ongis, Java and Centralese, and then Sompen and the Nicobaris. They have been inhabiting these islands for many, many years. Even people do not know when they come, from where they have come. There are various hypotheses are there, but I am fortunate that I could go and meet many of them, even the Centralese, while we were having the contact expedition to Java. That time we also tried to visit the Centralese islands. So these fragile islands are very, very important for all of us. I think many of the officials from Navy and the Coast Guard and the police forest, they have been visiting other islands. Even during tsunami, 26 December 2004, when it happened, nobody just thought of it, how it could happen. It's because of the fragile nature of our nature. We cannot just ignore all of those happenings. Even cyclone happened in 2013, and that becomes a havoc, a disaster, natural disaster to all of us. All of a sudden, thousands of people, they die, and we do not have anything to just rescue them. Even if you talk about the Nicobar group of islands, some of you might have visited Karnik, In 90s, there was no jetty. One has to go by the ship and then platoon, and then only you can go to this island, particularly Nicobar group of islands. I just want to say one of the maybe some incident which happened with me. Although there are many incidents when I have been surveying these islands from North Andaman to Great Nicobar. Almost I have been to many of those places. And we thought of surveying Little Nicobar and Pilomilo Island. It was around 1993. So myself, I was the team leader, and I took a lot of our colleagues with me, maybe 5-6 people, Dr. D.V. Rao, P.T. Rajan and Dr. Sanjeev Kumar. They became the scientists, senior scientists later on, and we took 5-6 people and went to Pilomilo Island. There was actually the police post. There was no guest house, no hotel, no accommodation those days in 90s, and just we boarded the ship without having much information. Only through message it was informed to the police people that such and such team will be arriving on such and such date. Okay, we enjoyed ship journey from here up to this our Pilomilo Island, and after reaching there, we saw that there is no jetty. Then what to do? How to reach to the island? Then we saw that police people, they have sent 5-6 dinghies. Dinghies, you know very well, which can just carry 1 or 2 persons, only 1 or 2 persons. So when they have sent 5-6 dinghies to the ship, so we got down it from the stairs all along that ship, and first I just got down. So one of the Nicobaru, who are the inhabitant of that place, he asked me to just get down in that dinghy, and I also had a lot of our survey material with me. I just got down, then sat. Then literally, you may be not knowing, I have just gone from that ship to the Pilomilo Island by myself, by doing it. So it was so adventurous, and unfortunately, there was one of the person. His name is Mr. Bhaskar. You may be knowing. He has surveyed almost all the island of Andaman Nicobar Islands for turtle nesting. And he was actually undertaking the survey without any information, without any permission from the forest department. Although he was such a great worker, we cannot deny it, but he was not having any permissions. So all of a sudden we saw him that he is also there in the ship. Since he was not given any permission to offboard from the ship, he just jumped from the sea, and then he has gone up to the islands. And where he has gone, we do not know. He will be surveying the islands without any information, alone. What he was eating, what he would be doing, nobody knows. But he was such a worker, such a field scientist. His publications were made, and some of the books were also dedicated to him for turtle surveying. And that's why these islands are our treasure of turtles. Our one of the largest turtle, leatherback turtle, that is, the species name is Leptochelis coriacea, and that is only found in Nicobar group of islands. That is coming for our nesting. 4 species of turtles are known from here. So such a beautiful islands. And while undertaking the survey also, one day what happened, myself and one of our friend, a colleague from Yarwali, we thought of doing a night survey for the corals. So we took a dinghy and we thought of going to the Little Nicobar. And when we started moving towards Little Nicobar, we just saw that the stars are not there in the sky. Stars are there in the sea. Entire your coral leaves were shining like anything. So such a beautiful experience you cannot get anywhere else. These islands, as you will see this marine and the coastal area, are the repository of many, many species. Here in Andaman Nicobar Islands, I have told you that it's only 0.25% area. We have actually worked in Geological Survey of India for the survey and inventarization of the entire country, including Andaman and Lakshadweep Islands. We have found out around 105,000 species of animals only. 105,000 species. And all the 10 biogeographical zones have been studied. You can search in the Google or LinkedIn or any of those websites, and will get all the informations starting from Himalaya, Trans-Himalaya, desert, semi-desert, Gangetic Plains, Deccan Plateau, and the Western Ghat, Northeastern region. So all 10 biogeographical zones have been surveyed, and Andaman Nicobar Islands is one of the biogeographical zones. So these islands are not one of the, I have just mistaken, the richest biodiversity hotspots in the world. Reason being, if the area of any other states or biogeographical region is 5 or 6%, they may be having 10% of the biodiversity, but these islands, which are just 0.25%, are having around 11% of the biodiversity in India itself. 0.5%. You can see the proportion of the biodiversity. So I would always say these are the richest biodiversity hotspots in India. Although our country has been designated as one of the mega diversity countries among 17 countries in the world. Are you aware about that? One of the mega diversity country as far as the plants and animals are concerned. And how they are designated, that is only on the basis of the number of flowering plants in a particular area or locations, and all the 5 groups of vertebrates starting from the fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. So on the basis of the number of these species, these areas have been designated as a megadiversity country. Our country is ranking 8th, and the first country is the Brazil, where the Amazon river is there. Still much of the areas of those regions are not yet surveyed, and they are still finding thousands of new species from those regions. And same condition here is Andaman Nicobar Islands. Although till date I could say we have around 12,300 species of animals which are reported from these islands, and he is having the species name for each species, including the plants which ZSI is working. There are 4,500 species which are occurring here. So it's a gold mine for the biological explorations. At least the students who are working it there, they would never like to go from here if they are very much interested to work here. You could get hundreds and thousands of new species. New species you may be knowing, like the name of the elephant, biological species name is Elephas maximus. And the Linnaeus was the author to whom we called as the father of taxonomy. His name will be always with that particular species. That was 260 years old when that particular species was described. So any species which is described by any one of you as a scientist or became even by NGOs and non-scientists also, your name will be added with that particular species. And what will happen? As long as your earth is there, civilization is there, the people are there, your name will be immortal. Nobody can suppress you, even that species is changed to another name also. So that is the beautiful thing for the people who are working on the natures. There are many things what is all actually happening as far as the biodiversity is concerned. Plant and animal number I have told you, but within the sea there are coral reef ecosystems, mangrove ecosystems, you have seagrass ecosystems, coral reef associates. So this particular center of Andaman Nicobar Regional Centers has been working it for last around 50 years, because by next year they are going to celebrate the Golden Jubilee. I wish Dr. Siva Parman for having a great time during 50th anniversary of this center. Since I have been a part of this center for many years, I always wish that it should grow like this. I'm also happy that this is one of the best regional center of Geological Survey of India among 16 centers throughout India. And this has been organizing many years of training programs throughout year, and they have lot of our environmentalist program, and that is one of the reasons you are present here, to sensitize the people, to have awareness program, how these islands and the marine ecosystems are to be conserved. Because if you do not have the conservation and the management plan for these islands, for each and everyday activities in your habit also, it will be very difficult to pass on to the next generations. Because it's not myself who should enjoy this, but our next generations who are coming in future, they should not only listen the stories that dugongs are very common in Andamans, because they are inhabiting one of the ecosystems only. They are very, very fragile and very delicate species. We call it as a gentle sea cow. Gentle name is also given to sea cow. And where they are inhabiting only the sea grass ecosystems. Sea grass ecosystems are there in only around 1,000 square kilometer area. Similarly, the coral reef ecosystems are there in 1,000 square kilometer area. If you compare the whole the area of these islands, so you have very small area. That's the reason I think some of you might have visited the Vandoor Islands, which are Jolly Boy. They was famous for tourists. I think that is almost now closed for tourists nowadays. Jolly Boy is closed, because those days many people who come to Andamans, they will first go to the Jolly Boy, Vandoor Islands, and whole day they will be there having this snorkeling and the swimming here. So I also have one incident about the Jolly Boy Islands. There was some program about the monitoring which was going on in Mahatma Gandhi Marine National Park. Now the name has changed of the Vandoor. We have two Marine National Park, that Mahatma Gandhi Marine National Park and Rani Jhansi, that is in Archipelago. So these two marine national parks are very, very important, and that is important for the conservation of those marine biodiversity in those areas. So what happened? Some of our colleagues from this center, they took me to Jolly Boy, maybe 2000 or something, when this the area was not closed, and we have gone there and started our having some monitoring programs. So in between, just I started snorkeling there. So my colleagues, they were in different area, so I was within the sea. So while snorkeling and just diving in some of the coral reef area in Jolly Boy Island, so all of a sudden I just saw that I have drifted about 35 meters away from that area where I was just snorkeling. So I just got scared why it is happening. And it was just dinging by which we have gone to that place. I was scared all of a sudden when I came out from that area. And I was drifted away around 30 to 40 meters from our colleagues. Then I just raised my hand and called my colleagues. Then they came to me and then rescued it. So such things are happening in these islands. But until unless these stories are there, they will never remember it. And then you will never even share to your nearby people. So I was talking about the coral reefs, then the mangroves and the seagrass ecosystems, which you know very well, and seagrass itself is the these two ecosystems are actually how they are very, very important as far as the impact of climate change is also there. Am I not taking much time? Just for 3-4 minutes. So mangrove ecosystem and the seagrass ecosystems, because we nowadays discussing much about this impact of climate change. The sea level rise, it is estimated by 2100, by 2100, our sea level will rise from 0.5 to 1 meter. Then what will happen to the small islands which are there? Even throughout the world also, global area. So if the sea rises and the temperatures also rises, there are many impacts on our biodiversity, animals, and our flora and fauna of these islands. So even that which also called a lead to the acidification. So once acidification is there, so the growth of these ecosystems will diminish. Even the temperature if rises, the turtles, if you are knowing, there are 4 species of the turtles. They are laying the eggs when they come to the shore. Otherwise, they would be moving different places in the coastal sea area and different area. If the temperature even rises 1 centigrade, so the population of female rises after breeding. So there may be a chance that you will not have any male specimen after a few years when this temperature rises. These are small things which we come to know only by the research. Through these our researches, which are also important for our part, to know our ecosystem, that has to be taken care of. And there are many conservation and management plan which we can discuss, even about the carbon sink, carbon sequestration, how these mangrove and the seagrass ecosystems are playing a major role. They are more than 6 to 7 times better than even the tropical ecosystems, which we see as a rainforest and other things. So under sea, what we see is more important. They are tropical rainforest, like a sea, our coral reefs, we call the tropical rainforest under the sea. Same thing, we can talk about the coral reef ecosystems. Corals bleaching, you might be knowing. 2010 and 2016, there was a rise in temperature in the coral reef areas in Andaman and the Lakshadweep group of islands. Although coral reefs are distributed in 5 regions in our country. That is Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep group of islands, and the Malvan region in Maharashtra, Gulf of Kutch, that in Gujarat, and Gulf of Mannar, that is in Tamil Nadu. So 5 these areas are very, very important for us. But sometimes when the temperature rises and the sea temperature rises, so there is a bleaching in the coral reef area because of the impact of climate change. And then that time 50 to 60% of the coral, they died it in those ecosystems. So how it's going to lead to our community wide livelihood? So those 60% of the corals are dying there, so certainly that will lead to the decline of those associate fauna, whether it's a crustaceans, which we call is a crab, lobster, and then prawn. Many of those species are there. Then there will be fishes, whether it's ornamental fishes. Here you will be knowing that around 1,500 species of fishes are known from these islands. 1,500 fishes. And this number has raised 3 times for last 3 decades. Dr. P.K. Talwar was the scientist who I worked in these islands in 90s. 1991 he published a paper, and that included only 500 species. Now this number has gone beyond 1500 species. That is only these marine species. There are only few freshwater fishes, around 50-60 species are there. So your community livelihood also has got impacted. So it has got impact on the community livelihood. Our 30% of the population of the entire world, around 3 billion people, they have been living in the coastal areas. And same thing with the Andaman Nicobar Islands, even more than that. Around 50,000 people are directly or indirectly, they are dependent on livelihood of the fisheries. So if such a impact of climate change is there, the production is going to become down. If not now, at least maybe after 1 or 2 decades. And those signs are already available throughout the world. These signals have been given, and you have to go for the conservation and management plan for these very, very fragile ecosystems. Then only at least you can save the livelihood. To save ourselves, we have to save our oceans, and that is the only way out for love. With these few comments, I conclude my remarks.
डॉक्टर स्वनकल ने धन्यवाद ज्ञापन प्रस्तुत करते हुए सभी प्रतिभागियों व अतिथियों का आभार व्यक्त किया.
Gathered here for the inaugural function of 3-day training workshop on coastal and marine biodiversity of island ecosystem. I, on behalf of Zoological Survey of India, Andaman Nicobar Regional Center, Port Blair, extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Kailash Chandra, former Director, Zoological Survey of India, for gracing this occasion and enlightening all of us with his inspiring words.
कार्यक्रम में भारतीय तटरक्षक, INS जरवा, भारतीय सेना, अंडमान एवं निकोबार पुलिस प्रशिक्षण विद्यालय, एंटी करप्शन यूनिट, स्वास्थ्य सेवाएं, पशुपालन एवं पशु चिकित्सा सेवाएं, शिक्षा विभाग तथा अंडमान लक्षद्वीपीय हार्बर वर्क्स सहित विभिन्न विभागों के 20 प्रतिभागी शामिल हो रहे हैं.